Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize to each of you for missing your opening statements, but I was in another committee. I have 5 minutes, and I would like each of you to give me 30 seconds on why you think premiums have risen, and another 30 seconds each on what you think we should do about it. Mr. Gordon?
So the primary cost factors for rising homeowners insurance costs, it's primarily the demographic shifts of people moving into more climate riskier areas and building more expensive homes. 40-year record inflation is the next biggest component. And then the building material inflation has outpaced the underlying inflation. And then you add into that climate change and legal system abuse and regulatory costs. And that's why the natural disaster costs in homeowners insurance are going up. The best way to offset that is through more mitigation.
I'm sorry, it's through what?
More mitigation and resiliency, improved building codes, wildfire prepared standards, fortified building standards. When you look at, if you analyze Hurricane Ian, which was the second worst insured loss event in history, if that had hit Florida before all of Florida's building code reforms, it would have been closer to a Hurricane Katrina loss event. And so you see entire neighborhoods in Florida.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I want to make sure everybody has a chance. Mr. Epstein?
Sure. So, yeah, the basic failures that are causing premiums to rise. So the government has failed at climate resilience, which is the most important thing. So in the case where it's the government-controlled things like the forests in California, they've just totally failed to manage those properly. Sometimes they inhibit people from managing their own property. So that's part one, is failing at resilience. Part two is actively encouraging people to take on risk that they wouldn't take in a free market, which happens, encouraging people, like all these disaster relief things just end up subsidizing people taking more risk, and they create these cascading problems. So the solutions are simple. We want to get rid of all the green policies that inhibit resilience, and we want a totally free market in insurance so that people aren't encouraged to take on undue risk.
Thank you. Madam Supervisor?
So the changing climate has led to catastrophic disasters in my county and across California, as you know. What can be done is a continued investment in infrastructure, hardening homes and community, forest health, and fuel management programs.
Mr. Newman?
Thank you, Senator. I agree with Mr. Gordon on all of his reasons why property insurance price is increasing. Of those, risk is the only one a homeowner has any control over. And so disaster mitigation has to be part of the solution to drive down insurance costs. But not just any disaster mitigation, our risk reduction needs to be grounded in science and verified. It's those two features that provide the bridge from the actions of a homeowner to the insurance industries. What I can tell you is that when you do that, insurers will pay attention.
All right, let's go in.
Oh, that is awesome.
Let's go in reverse order. I think each of you mentioned mitigation. When I hear mitigation, I also hear money. Who do you think should pay for the mitigation, and how should we pay for it? Mr. Newman?
Senator, we all have an obligation to pay for mitigation. That falls on individuals, on homeowners and families. That falls on every level of government, and the private sector needs to pitch in as well.
Madam Supervisor?
I agree. This is all of our responsibility at the local level, all the way up to the federal level, because we know who has to come in and clean up after a catastrophic
So you think
event.
local should contribute?
I think everyone has a part to play.
You think local should contribute?
I think, yes,
Okay.
there is a part to play locally.
Mr. Epstein?
I mean, in general, as much as possible, the people taking on the risk, so as individual as possible. And if the government does something very specifically disastrous, then maybe it owes damages, but yeah, you want risk to be as individual as possible.
Mr. Gordon?
So the single most cost-effective wildfire safety standard is just simply moving the dry brush and plants 5 feet away from your home to create a defensible perimeter. California actually required that in law, but never implemented that in regulation. So there are very cost-effective things that you can do, homeowners can do, communities can do if we guide them in the right direction.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
On behalf of the chairman, Senator Tillman.